Hello, everybody. My name is Ross Burnham. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager for the Distribution Products team here at Mactac, North America. I've been with Mactac for about 19 years, helping customers in the print community with their pressure-sensitive adhesive needs. I've also had the privilege of working with Carew and her team for about 15 years now, and just want to say thank you very much to Digital Color for including us in this virtual trade show presentation. I'm calling you from the safety of my home here in Stowe, Ohio, which is also the home of our North American headquarters. Mactac is prioritizing the safety of our employees, their families, our suppliers, and you, our valued customers. Many of our functional teams are working from their homes. Our plants remain open, supplying pressure-sensitive adhesives to the print community. Today, we'd like to quickly go through our agenda here, talk a little bit about Mactac, opportunities for wide format growth in floors, windows, and walls in today's COVID-19 environment and also beyond. Taking a deeper look at some specific print media and laminates and welcoming your questions and answers at the end of the session. So as Carew has mentioned, you guys are on mute right now, but please feel free to, as we go through, to put any questions in the chat box, and Carew can break in and either ask the question or hold it until the end of the presentation. Mactac has been innovating the pressure-sensitive adhesive industry for over 60 years. We're a $350 million company with 600 employees working with printers across the industry. Our products are used in the flexographic, sheet-fed offset, and wide format digital print markets. Mactac is part of the Lintec Corporation of Japan, a $2 billion global pressure-sensitive company. We are trying hard to help your business grow. There are many different print media and laminates in our graphics product offering. The products mentioned today are just a small part of the offering for media, laminates, mounting adhesives, and colored vinyl. Start a little bit with just the basics of the construction of the pressure-sensitive media. So you have the face, which is going to be your palette for the ink that you're going to be utilizing in solvent, eco-solvent, latex, UV roll-to-roll, UV flatbed, and perhaps screen press or UV gel with the Colorado. The adhesive offerings are broad, whether they're microsphere ultra removable for a poster size 6 mil print that you'd put up, removable, that would typically be for a graphic that's going to be up no longer than 2 years, permanent, something you want to put up and forget, or even high tack and extreme that's available that's very, very thick, very aggressive, and wanting to stick to pretty much everything. There's also a liner, and liner just not only is a cover for the adhesive for when you're ready to apply it, but it also has functionality because you're going to be die cutting into the face for your graphic, and you need to make sure that the liner does not punch through. You're also looking at functionality for lay flat, depending on if you're going to be flatbed printing or have a higher content of material if you have heat in your latex press, so that you don't start getting funny and funky with the media. So there are different release liner weights that we have in the portfolio, but just make those three things are what makes up most of our pressure sensitive materials. The good thing about this is it for all the different presses that you might have out there in wide format: face, adhesive, and a liner. Selecting the right pressure sensitive vinyl media can be as simple as knowing the following. These three questions, if we have this and you have this, you have 95% of the way of picking out your correct media for what you're doing. What are you adhering to? What print asset are you wanting to use? And how long does your image need to last and in what environment? So we're going to dig a little bit deeper into questions like, what are you adhering to? And this is where you got to get specific, because in today's wide format opportunity, there are so many different surfaces that our materials are going to be asked to work with. Whether you think about floors, tile, carpet, wood, rough and finish concrete, really one adhesive is not the right adhesive for all those applications, nor should it be. We want to make sure that we engineered the materials for the right applications. Windows are going to have a high surface energy. They're going to want to stick like grim death. So you basically don't want to put a permanent adhesive on glass. You're going to be looking at a removable. For walls, drywall, especially those painted with zero VOC paint, brick, block, and cement, there are adhesives that Mactac has that will even work on zero VOC painted drywall, which is the bane of the industry right now for wall graphics, and we'll talk more about that. Metals and plastics, whether you're bare and powder coated metal or low and high surface energy plastics, the adhesives that are available will be engineered to work on those different applications. It's important to really figure this out, because what you don't want to do is go through the effort of printing the job, getting it out to the site, and then having it not work. So these are very, very key in regards to what we're doing.
Hey, Ross.
Yes.
What about those surfaces? Frequently you hear about those plastic trash cans.
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that. And please, Karu, I invite you to jump in any time with this. Plastic trash cans are typically a low surface energy plastic, and this is where a high tack or extreme adhesive would probably be the best bet to go with. Companies such as Mactac offer sample sheets that are 8-inch by 10-inch out of our sample room that are free of charge. And we would suggest that if you've got a project that you want to make sure that the adhesion is going to be working out well, that you reach out to us and ask for sample sheets that you could actually do an adhesion test. Clean the material off well, lay it down, come back in a couple hours, a couple of days, and see if that's the right adhesive for your application. So we're more than happy to help you out in selecting that before you go down that path of printing, applying, and having to do it again. Is that good, Karu?
Perfect.
Great. How can Wideformat create new revenue sources? Now, obviously, when these slides were put together and these photos were taken, it was before our COVID-19 environment. We're going to talk a little bit about what is happening in today's opportunities, but also when we get through this on the other end, there will continue to be opportunities in restaurants and stores and medical facilities, bars, schools, and this is the great opportunity for Wideformat and where we've seen all the different growth. And again, depending on the surface that you're looking at, Mactac has got materials for wall graphics, floor graphics, window graphics that can help out with what we call environmental graphics, visual merchandising, architectural graphics that can really change the setting. The one I really particularly like is this one in the middle. This is a CAT scanner at a children's hospital, and instead of the white room where it is more like a science lab and scary, it's now a spaceport, and the kids are dressed up as astronauts. They put them on the slide, and they have more of an adventure. So this to help people at ease, to help enjoy our time out. These are the materials that help us do that. Specifically, we're going to look more at floors, windows, and walls. We're going to make some suggestions in regards to products that are being used today in COVID, but also in long-term applications. In floors, you're going to have different surfaces, again, concrete, carpet. You're going to be also looking at slip-resistant laminates and functionality for floor graphics. On windows, window films are used for privacy glass. They could also be printed on. So where you've got materials for frosted, dusted, clear. We'll talk a little bit about that. And on walls, whether it's a short-term or long-term, smooth or textured, Mactac and Digital Color have products for your applications that can help you out. Let's look at floors. Again, before the world turned upside down, we had opportunities to work in sporting environments. The Rainbow is a project that we did in Toronto last fall with our Streetrap material that we'll talk a little bit about. And on the right, this is a museum that has a floor graphic that is emulating a Roman trail. Now think about this museum and think if that was just a white floor. And now look what it can do to transform the whole environment. One of my favorite pictures. for that application. Looking at floor
Ross,
graphics, yes.
excuse me, we have a question. Does Mactac have a resource guide for COVID-19 solutions? They're asking for sort of like a quick reference guide.
Yeah, and I think our presentation here is going to help out a lot. And crew, you're going to make this presentation available to all attendees, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And so there's a lot of information that we've included in this. Not that you guys are going to remember everything that we say or I say and you see, but you'll have it as a reference. And this will be something that will help you out with these particular applications. We're also going to invite you to reach out to our Mactac team to help out with specific application questions. And I'm sure Carew and Frank and Jay and the rest of the digital color team will be happy to answer your questions because they've had good experiences working with a lot of these products for many, many years.
One other thing on the larger graphic that you had on the previous slide, the big basketball, obviously that's going to take, the material comes 54-inch, maybe 60-inch. Is a recommendation, at what mil thickness combined with laminate does Mactac recommend, a butt seam or an overlap?
Good question. When you look at a graphic like this, one of the questions that we would ask is how long is this going to be down for? Is this for a short-term playoff event, or is this going to be one that's going to be down for multiple years? If it's going to be a short-term, we have different over laminates in a good, better, best environment, because whenever you have a floor graphic, we always recommend that there be a slip resistant laminate that match up to it. And as we get into the presentation, we'll talk a little bit about more of the details of what products we would recommend for that. But for a butt or seam or overlap, it's really up to the installer and the folks that are working with it. They could be butt jointed. You're looking at typical 4 mil print media with laminates that range from 3 mil to 6 mil in thickness. So if you're looking at having an indoor 3-year plus application with 4 mil plus 6 mil laminate, that's 10 mils. I would recommend probably a butt cut on that to basically not have any type of lip that could catch, which would prematurely perhaps cause the graphic to fail, or if it did come up, could potentially cause a tripping hazard. So these could be butt cut, and these materials don't shrink, so there's not an issue of large gaps going in. Now, if you are going to butt cut, one of the things that we would recommend is sealing it with a silicone caulk or such, so that when the material is being cleaned, that you're not getting moisture in between the two panels on that butt crack. So if it's sealed, you won't have any kind of moisture going in and perhaps causing some premature damage down the road. Okay.
Yep, that was great. One other point, if anyone needs any more specific details on that, we do have very detailed installation guides on what Ross is referring to as far as around the edge of the graphic and creating a slight ramp. So please just email us at the end, info@digitalcolorinc.com, and we'll be happy to forward that to you.
Very good. So, Carew, in specific to today's environment, these are some of the applications that we're seeing every day now when we go out, whether it's the grocery store and the distance, or the CVS, if it's at Lowe's or Home Depot, same type of thing. Social distancing circles and pickup and drop off signage is kind of the thing that we're seeing. This is, again, where we're looking at tile, carpet, and rough concrete. So we've made some suggestions here for the least expensive options for the shortest time that we would hopefully have this application. But again, we have other products that would last longer in these environments. For tile, you're looking for a material that's going to be opaque, because you don't want the bleed through of what's behind it. You're going to want a removable if on that high surface energy, whether it's tile or finished concrete. Finished concrete's got the epoxy in it. That's what you would see at a Lowe's or a Home Depot when you look down. So a print vinyl gray is a product that is very good for that. It's a 4-year outdoor vinyl with a removable, in this case, adhesive. And we would tie it in with our Permaflex PF6400, which is a 30-day indoor durability rating for dry applications. For carpet, whether it's going to be at a library or a business, when businesses start opening again, Mactac has a fantastic product in our JT5828 high tack opaque. This is one of the only products in our portfolio that is designed to cleanly remove from carpet once the graphic is no longer needed. Typically, carpet graphics are short-term. They're for sales meetings, promotions, trade shows, etc. This might be the exception of what's going on today. That's going to be lasting maybe 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. The high tack opaque, again, with that PF6400 textured laminate on an indoor dry location, is going to be fantastic, and it's going to remove clean without leaving any residue behind. The high tack opaque adhesive has a high cohesive strength. It wants to stick to itself more than it wants to stick to the carpet. And that means that when you peel off the graphic, there's no residue of adhesive, which means it's not going to grab onto dust and dirt. It's not going to shadow or ghost or tell somebody where the graphic used to be. We've had this product in the marketplace for many, many years, and it's been a go-to product. For concrete and asphalt, Mactac has 2 different products that we recommend. We have our Streetrap, and we're tied together with our floor grip, which is our PF6600. And we also offer a product called Streetrap. Let's talk a little bit about Streetrap. The Streetrap is a 13.5 mil white opaque media that is coated with a safety grit material, kind of like a skateboard deck. It is printable in solvent, eco-solvent, latex, UV, and even UV gel presses. It does not need a lam because of the coating of the safety grit. It looks fantastic. It'll work through all your presses, and it's basically print, cut, apply, and there you go. It's got a 3-month outdoor durability, and really the durability of the ink will definitely wear out before the adhesion and the media does. If you've got a need to keep the material clean and fresh and looking good for a lot longer, that's where our Streetrap and floor grip over laminate comes into play, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Mactac always recommends for all the products outside of Streetrap to have a slip-resistant laminate combination.
Ross, you just kind of touched on something that confuses a lot of people for some reason, and I guess I can understand, but Roughrap and Streetrap. People think, well, I can walk on a brick and there's brick walls. Why can't I just use Roughrap instead of Streetrap to walk on outside? Okay. Can you find maybe the placement? Because obviously Mactac wouldn't have 2 different products if they both did exactly the same thing at all times.
Very good. So Streetrap has a thick coating of adhesive that is designed to go into the nooks and crannies of rough and uneven concrete. Roughrap does not necessarily have that. It's more for smooth configurations, and it has a gray opaque adhesive. This Roughrap is also a 2 mil cast material designed to stretch into the mortar joints of brick and block, whereas Streetrap is a 4 mil calendared for flat surfaces. So they're really 2 different animals in regards to the adhesive and the face construction. Again, Streetrap, very aggressive, very gooey adhesive. Roughrap, not so much, as the material is designed to go into the nooks and crannies, and then it is heated up in a post-heating operation to get the film to 220 degrees and basically break the links and the elastic links in the vinyl. That means that the face is not pulling itself out of the nooks and crannies for Roughrap, so the adhesive doesn't have to be as strong, because it's really not the adhesive that's holding it in the nooks and crannies. It's because the face and the film has been configured for that environment. you cannot do that with Streetrap. It's only for flat surfaces. We do have customers that use Streetrap or our Rebel Extreme for flat cement walls, like in parking garages or sports stadiums. And if you're not looking at the brick and block texture that we'll look at here in a minute, maybe the Streetrap would be another option to look at for tough to stick to surfaces.
Also, there's a question now about, how long, as far as floor graphic adhesive, how long can you keep that high tack on carpet before you can leave any type of adhesive residue behind? Is there a limitation?
We've not seen or recommended a pull-up date for that. And for all the years that we've had that material, I've not had somebody come back and say we had an issue.
Great, thank you.
A little bit more about the print vinyl gray. So really, this is a great product that is available in 54 and 64-inch widths. It is a family of products that has a removable or permanent adhesive option and is part of the family of print vinyl. Print vinyl is a decal material, but also the print vinyl gray gives you that opacity with the gray adhesive. Looking at this for, again, high surface energy tile or cement, this is a product that could be looked at to work on your solvent, eco-solvent, latex, UV gel, UV inkjet. It's got a 78-pound liner. It's not the lay flat liner, but for a lot of presses, this is a good economic solution, and especially with today's requirements for floor graphics and markers, this would be a good one to look at. We talked a little bit about the over laminates in our Permaflex line. We have kind of a good, better, best. Mactac has been really good at doing this for the last 7 to 10 years of adding products into our portfolio that just aren't the best. We realize that people are looking for 1 year or shorter applications, and so we want to help you with the right product for the right application. The 6400 is a textured polyolefin material that basically is looked at for 30-day durability on floor graphics, but it's also used for long-term display graphics. It hides fingerprints really well. So if you're doing panels and you want to hide the fingerprints that if people are touching it, the 6400 is a great economic product for that. We have other products, including our 6300 and our 6500. Again, indoor dry applications. If you have an outdoor application that's wet, our PF 6600, which is our floor grip, has been third-party certified by the National Floor Safety Institute for outdoor wet and dry environments on flat and slightly curved or elevated surfaces. This is very important because this protects you and your company as well as your customer, that if there's an issue with slip and fall, we've got you covered with the National Floor Safety Institute testing.
I also just wanted to comment, if anybody needs to have the specifics on this, as Ross is going through some of the differences between the existing legacy textured laminate and the 6600, we do have white paper documentation. A lot of things have been changing in the industry, and Mactac truly was the leader on making sure that their laminate did meet these higher standards. So just again, email us info@digitalcoloring.com if you want to receive that information. Ross, we have a question.
Yes.
Can street tracks be used on a vertical solution? For example, parking lot columns or concrete walls, or is it only for a floor graphics?
No, it can be used in any application that you'd like to use it for.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So a little bit more about Streetrap. So when we were talking about Streetrap, that Streetrap is the direct print onto the safety grit material. The Streetrap is a print media that would basically be printed and then laminated with the floor grip. This basically protects the image from scuffing and getting scraped up. It also protects the ink from being the abrasion of being walked on. And it can be kept clean a lot easier, meaning that with a mild detergent, like a Dawn dish soap, and a soft brush, the graphic can be kept looking new for as long as the graphic is going to be out there. This photograph was taken on Michigan Avenue in Chicago several years ago, where the customer, in this case MasterCard, wanted to promote an amazing weekend of shopping in Chicago. So we've had a lot of good success with this product. It's ideal for a lot of different applications, and just want to make you aware of it. And again, 3-month durability outdoor, 5-year on vertical surfaces, cement pillars and walls as an example. Very aggressive and thick adhesive. And again, more details on the National Floor Safety Institute certification for our floor grip. And this certification also applies to our Streetrap product. Look a little bit at windows now. So Mactac has a broad range of window graphics for a lot of different applications, whether in airports or film festivals or shopping malls or office spaces, make you aware of. And right now, a lot of our window graphics are being used, unfortunately, for hospital signage, wayfinding, restaurants where to pick up orders, customers are open for business, even innovative options for fleet window graphics, identifying essential workers. Again, typical surfaces, glass and acrylic. Suggested media for these short-term COVID-type applications would be our MDOT Clear, which I'm going to go into in detail, and our Rebel line, which I will also go into detail. These products work very well across all of your wide format solvent, eco-solvent, latex, UV gel platforms. The MDOT material came out about a year ago. The MDOT has a dot patterned adhesive on the back of the face that allows for a couple of different functionalities. One, it provides a natural air egress pattern for the adhesive. This means that the folks behind the counter or installing the graphic can easily put up the graphic and get the bubble out just with their hand. There's no application fluid needed. It just goes up, it's repositionable. If it needs to be moved to another window, another area because of flexibility, it can be pulled down and reused without stretching the graphic and destroying it. The material comes in a clear or a white, and we've had great feedback on this material that not only does it go up easy, but it comes down easy. And think about having a short-term 3-month, 6-month, 1-year wall graphic utilizing the white that you would put up on the wall, and then time to come and take it down easily comes off and disposed of without damaging the wall, which reduces overall cost for the program that you're looking at. Promotional 1-year durability. Yes, Crew.
So on some of these very unique adhesives, particularly these dot patterns,
yeah,
and what have you, there's not a lot of surface that the bubbles or the dots or what have you are actually adhering to.
Yeah.
Is there a size limit that people should be looking for because of the overall weight of the graphic, meaning it may not stick? You mentioned walls. I mean, I would shudder the thought of someone doing a complete wall mural out of MDOT. Isn't it more like a large sticker application?
It is. It kind of reminds me of our oodle, our wall noodle and roodle product that we'll talk about here in a minute. But we have had customers not have to worry about how big the graphic is because of the weight and the performance of the adhesive. You're looking at I believe a 3.5 mil face that is not going to have a release line or not have a laminate on it. So it's going to be not very heavy. And especially on windows, high surface energy, it's going to stick very, very well, but it is going to remove when you need it to. And we've had customers utilize the white material on painted drywall with good success.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. That's a great question. We also have a product that's more for long-term, and that is our BeFree window film. This has been one of our best-selling products since it came out many, many years ago. It's available in 3 different flavors, whether it's clear, frosted, or dusted. The clear is clear. It's not optically clear because of the air egress pattern in the adhesive, but we have a very, very clear material. From an intended viewing distance, it's definitely something to look at. But big part about these products is that they can be wide format printed, and whether you're reverse printing them, putting them on your windows, you get some great effects, translucent effects with this material. Again, with the BeFree pattern on the back, it is a very, very subtle air egress pattern that does not transmit through to the face, and it is applied by applicators dry. There is no application fluid that should be used in this product. That enhances speed. It's not so much of a mess. And if you're on the second story of a window, either in a lift truck or hanging from a bucket, you don't want to be dripping application fluid on folks down below. So it is just a very, very good go-to product, and can be printed solvent, eco-solvent, latex, UV, and even with the Colorado 1650 press. Outdoor durability, 5 to 7 years, and it is a fantastic product that we've had a lot of success with. Our customers have had a lot of success with.
Now, Ross, in this newer version that really just came out, I guess, as of October of last year, the new version can be contoured cut, correct?
Yes, yes. And one of the things to look at with the BeFree window films is contour cutting is one thing, but depending on how intricate. And so what Carew is mentioning is that you've got an air egress pattern on the back of the media. If you were to say have a star, let's look at a Macy's star, for example. If I have that tip of that star that does not have necessarily the adhesive because it's got the air egress, then I may already have a failure point. Same thing with scrolling letters and eyes on dots on eyes and things like that. Depending on the graphic, that's what you would look at. So if you have a application where you've got intricate cutting, or like I mentioned with the star, Mactac also has a product called Glass Decor that's very similar in regards to the construction, but it is a wet apply. It is the same type of face on frosted, dusted, but it does go on with a wet application fluid. And typically, if you're cutting out specific patterns and shapes and things like that, you would be using a pre-mask as well for that application. So we do have an option for you in cutting. The other part about having the BeFree window film and utilizing it as a cut vinyl film is that you potentially have a situation where you could have cleaning fluids go into the film on a capillary action, meaning that this film is really designed for end-to-end window up top to bottom. If I had, again, let's take the opposite of that Macy's star, or we had a customer that had a Chevy dealership and they cut out a Chevy logo. And about every 2 weeks, we would get a phone call saying that the material was shadowing around the border of where the cut was made. I asked them the question, how often do they wash the windows? And it was every 2 weeks. So you don't want to, where you've got the air that can come out, possibly moisture can come in. So that's another reason that you may want to consider a different product for the cut vinyl application, which we have in our Glass Decor. Okay, Carew?
Great, perfect, thank you.
Now let's talk a little bit about walls. Mactac has a lot of different materials, fortunately, for a lot of different applications, whether it's brick and block, again, zero VOC painted drywall. We're here to help you with managing through this. For short-term graphics, we have a fantastic line called the Oodle line, which goes into wall noodle, our Roodle, and our permanent noodle, which we call Poodle. These products have a 90-pound super lay flat liner. They're 6 mil in thickness, and these typically go up for 2 years or less on the poster size wall noodle prints or the Roodle prints. 6 mils is typically thick enough for an installer to be able to successfully put on. It's rigid enough where it's not going to want to fold in on itself like a piece of cellophane. The wall noodle material utilizes a microsphere removable adhesive and is designed for poster-sized prints. Put it up, take it down, put it up, take it down. Carew was mentioning earlier that there's some concerns about having print media that is so big and weighs so much that it would want to pull itself off the wall. This wall noodle is not designed for a full wall graphic. It's only designed for that Peyton Manning size poster print, okay, or a 3 foot by 4 foot perhaps print on the wall. It's designed to go up easy, come down, be removable, repositionable, and go up and down as many times, kind of like a Post-it note. The Rudel material has been very, very good with zero VOC painted drywall and is cleanly removable up to 2 years. After 2 years, a removable adhesive tends to become more permanent. Not to say that it won't come down, just need a little more effort. When customers ask, when do I use Rudel versus when do I use wall noodle? I'll typically tell them if it's a one and done, meaning I'm going to put it up and take it down and toss it when I don't need it anymore, I would go with the Rudel because the Rudel has a little bit, is more aggressive on the adhesive. But not only that, it is a little less expensive than the wall noodle because that microsphere adhesive costs us a little bit more to manufacture. We also have the Poodle permanent material, and that is basically for MDF board or painted plywood, which you would see on a construction site coming soon. That would be a great product for that. These two gentlemen are looking at a recent project up in Wisconsin that had a need for a large graphic, and this 6 mil material without laminate was perfect for their application. Going into the Rebel line, we wanted to introduce you guys and perhaps share with you for the first time a really, really good multi-functional, multi-print media that we came out with about 7-8 years ago called Rebel. We wanted to have a intermediate product that was 5-year that could be utilized on every print asset in your shop that was wide format, whether that be UV, latex, solvent, even screen press. And to be able to do that, we wanted to have a construction that would allow you to do that. And so you start off with a 4 mil white face that is either matte or gloss, and we also offer a clear matte option for that as well. So you've got a good platform for printing on, and that face stock is 99% opaque. We built the opacity into the face stock. The whole thing about Rebel is it basically takes a lot of the drama that the wide format market has with different types of applications. So with a opaque face, you don't have to worry about what your surface color is that you're going to be mounting on. You're doing these graphics in your shop, you're sending them to you don't know where. You don't want to have any kind of ghosting or color shift because of what was on the surface of what you were going to adhere to. So by creating the opacity and building it in the face, we are now able to provide you with a clear adhesive. So whether it's removable, permanent, high tack, or extreme, all the adhesives on the Rebel line are clear. Now, we mentioned earlier a product like Print Vinyl Gray had a gray opaque adhesive. How we do that is we add a gray inert filler into the adhesive. It creates opacity, but it doesn't add to the adhesion value. In fact, it takes away from it a little bit. The Rebel line products have a fantastic range of adhesion values right off the bat, especially our removable, because we're not adding anything to the adhesive. So you've got the opacity built into the face, you've got higher values for the adhesion, and we also find that this provides us better functionality, which we'll talk about in the next slide. The third component of the Rebel is the 90-pound super flat release liner. This has a high hardwood content into it, which prevents the release liner from absorbing moisture in humid environments. Many of the shops that we work with are not necessarily humidity controlled. And if you're in the southeast in the Carolinas or in Georgia or in other areas of the country that can get humid in the fall and the summer, you're not going to have this material scallop or change shape. This is extremely important for folks that have flatbed presses, which include screen presses. This is going to lay flat, so you're not going to have puddles that form in your screen press, or you're not going to get head strikes with your wide format UV press. We also have in our Tack the performance of adhering to zero VOC painted drywall. Again, another function of taking the drama out is that we have a product that we recommend and put in writing that will stick to zero VOC painted. We've helped a lot of customers that have utilized specifications that told them what to do, and then they basically had a failure because they were sticking to a Sherwin-Williams zero VOC commercial paint with somebody else's product that just was not compatible. The Tack adhesive line was basically built for applications such as low surface energy plastics, powder coated metals, hard to stick to surfaces, and it turns out that it works fantastic on zero VOC painted drywall. So again, some of the features and benefits, kind of look at it as a Swiss Army knife of vinyl, but not only that, by having one roll in your shop that can be used on every press, wide format press you have, it's basically going to help free up cash flow, because you're not going to have one roll dedicated to one press. You can move that roll around as you see fit, and we've had a lot of customers come back and say it's helped them manage cash flow and have the right material for the right applications for the right press. So a lot of good stuff here, and it is, again, one of our go-to products that has helped out customers in a lot of different ways. Want to make you guys aware of some additional resources that Mactac has. Over the many years that we've been doing this, we've had several YouTube videos that we've put out there. I just screen grabbed one of them for wall graphics. They're short, they're about 3 to 5 minutes long. And here you've got Jason and Jeff talking about wall graphics. We've got materials or videos out there for floor graphics, for window graphics, for wall graphics, whether it's our wall chalker, our BeFree window films, our Streetrap, HTO material that we talked about. I would invite you to reach out or to go out and search for Mactac graphics, and you'll find probably 12 to 14 different videos. Helps you with surface prep, installation best practices, again, for floors, windows, and walls. Our website, mactac.com, has a lot of good information in regards to product performance guides, which we have continually updated to provide you with some best practices of applications. And we also have technical advisory sheets, which Karu mentioned a little bit earlier, that are going to help you with specific floor graphic applications, or laminating best practices, or Roughrap applications, or even fleet graphic best practices. So we would invite you to look at our library of assistance for this as well. More importantly, we've got people to help you out. And whether it's the team at Digital Color or our Mactac team, specifically Tom and Lee, we've got great professionals that are here to help you with your tough application questions. And again, if you help us with what are you sticking to, how long does it need to last, what type of press are you looking at, we can very quickly, over the phone, over the email, over any way you want, can help you with a product suggestion. So please help us help you, and we are here for you, and wish you well through this COVID-19 and beyond.
That's great, Ross. Thank you so much. Is there anyone that has any other questions? Please, at this time, go ahead and type in your questions, and we'll get them answered. One comment that I just wanted to make about the Rebel is that it is definitely one of the easiest medias for us. Anyway, we recommend to customers. The feedback is it truly is universal. They love it because they can print on so many different platforms, like you said. But having that white back, a lot of folks have really liked using it for those for lease on glass windows, because you have to be careful of dark images or dark gray back vinyls going on glass, especially tempered glass, because it could potentially heat up in certain environments and crack the glass. So we always recommend the Rebel because of the white back nature, and also looks better on the inside of the building when people are coming through to actually look at leasing the space. They're not looking at a gray window. Just my 2 cents.
Well, and also in other applications that are not clear, whether it be a stainless steel appliance or application, you're not looking at a gray border around the decal. So that's also beneficial as well.
Yeah, because we've had some folks that have used, let's say, a more economical, competitive vinyl, and they end up finding, because it's a 3.1 mil, they end up having to laminate it. And they insist on doing that, but you've added cost, and you've added labor, and you've added time. When we introduce the RB400 series, the 4 mil, they find that they really don't need to laminate it because it's very durable face. It doesn't stretch. It lays flat, and it's so much easier for them to handle after printing and installing it. They don't need to laminate it.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Rebel 4 series. So in the Rebel line, we talked about the Rebel 5, which is a 5-year. Mactac has the Rebel 2, the Rebel 4 series, and the Rebel 5 series. 2 for 2-year, 4 for 4-year, 5 for 5-year. The 5-year, I pointed out, has a 99% opacity built into the face. The Rebel 4 series is about 88%, which is pretty good for a lot of applications, especially decals. We've got a lot of customers that really, really like this material for decal work, and partly because of the lay flat liner. When they're making a lot of decals and stacking them, they're not going to curl. They're going to lay flat and keep flat. And that's important if you're going to hang them on hang tabs or put them in bags and hang them on hooks.
Well, there you go. Well, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. On behalf of Digital Color Inc. and Mactac, we truly want to thank you all for spending time with us today. We hope that you've learned something and you've got some new tools. And please do not hesitate to reach out to us either by email or calling us. Email info@digitalcolorinc.com. Also, our website is a huge resource. We have probably every single SKU out there, a product that Mactac manufactures, and you can actually sort and search by application what you're looking for. But certainly if you need samples, if you need any of the technical data sheets that Ross had mentioned, or even links to the YouTube site for those application videos, please reach out to us. And most importantly, everybody be safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Carew. We appreciate our partnership.